Hi there everyone and welcome back to the channel. It is time of course for a Palace preview with our game tomorrow at Selhurst Park against Everton. First of all, how good does it feel when you've got a full week after last weekend's fixtures and you've just enjoyed your week and you just sit back and think, yeah, I'm just in such a good mood and all because Palace have won a game of football. It's very rare that you feel like that, especially the way we won last week. I still can't get over just how brilliant we were in every department. Words can't describe. And seeing everyone on social media feeling the same way. It's just great as a fan base when everyone is happy and together and behind the team. And the split or the division, if you like, in the fan base in regards to things like Parish and the way and Hodgson and the way we approach things, of course, still a bit of division, or not division. Everyone is in the same boat in terms of being against the way the club are going about their season ticket policy. Of course, we're all united in that discussion about changing things. I think that is for the best interest of the fans, 100%, and for the club itself. You know, the club has built itself, especially since Parish and CPFC and the 2010 committee, took over the club. It's definitely built itself on being united with the fans and communicating with the fans. On the fan forums that on BBS and etc. used to always negotiate or not go negotiate. Sorry, always talk with the fans, and I think that's something that obviously you lose slightly when we become an established Premier League team, which we are now. You expect it to be a little bit different, but it's always been there, and it's that connection with the fans, that understanding, because obviously the guys in the board. Not so much Harrison Blitzer, of course, but the guys in the board are all fans and they all understand what it means to the fans, certain things happening at the club, and they always seem to make the decision, the decision that they feel is best for the fans and for the club going forward, which is something that I've always admired and loved about them. But this is the first time where you really think they've got this wrong, and they've got to look at other clubs. Most clubs in the league, in fact, are doing it right, and we're one of the few ones that are doing it wrong. And that's one of the first times that we've done something wrong that is really damaged, I think, the fans, the relationship with the fans and the club. I wouldn't say it's damaged it to the extent that we're not going to go there anymore, or we're not going to support the club anymore, I should say. But they need to address that. But anyway, in general, I don't want it to be completely negative, this, because we're in such a good place right now as a club in terms of what's happening on the pitch, and most of what's happening off it as well has been good as well with transfers. I mean, there still could be more transfers to come. Obviously, I'll do some more videos on that in the future. But obviously, today's video, Everton at home. This is going to be our biggest test so far, and I thought going into the United game that would be our biggest test. But looking back on it and rewatching that game, because I've rewatched it a few times, and looking at how poor United were in that fixture yet last weekend, it just wasn't a difficult game in general. I think it would have been really poor from us if we hadn't have got something out of that game. And it would have been unfortunate if we hadn't, because we thoroughly deserved everything we got from that. We were helped massively by how poor and unprepared Man United were in the end, and how sloppy their tactical setup was, and how poor their ball retention was. In my opinion, that was the main thing that was so poor about United, how slow they were in the attacking areas and their ball retention. And that's definitely something that you won't see from this Everton side. We've already seen, the goals they've scored, even against Fleetwood in the League Cup. Midweek, I think it was Thursday night, they had almost a full strength team out there. Only a couple of changes. Most of the first team players were in there, apart from like James Rodriguez and in the defence there were a couple of changes as well. But all in all, it was a very, very strong team, and they smashed Fleetwood in the end. A couple of errors from Pickford, which is quite good to see, because he probably will be playing against us. But they've been banging in goals, and they've been looking exciting, and it's been a breath of fresh air, I think, for Everton fans first and foremost, to see this style of football and see it working. And obviously the players they're bringing in, they're finally fixing problems that have been building for a while now. They've got a starting midfield three. They're starting to get players. They've got really good squad depth now. When you look at their depth in certain positions, they've got a goal scorer. They've got a creative player now in James Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin, who are both clicking, and they've really worked together well. We've got a star player, a flair player in Richarlison, who is ticking all the boxes and has really started. He was the star man last season, really starting to come into his own. It's a very dangerous side, Everton, and it's going to be a really tricky game. I do, in a way, think that having no fans at Selhurst Park might help us in this fixture, because it's the sort of game where we're going to approach it the same way we did with United. And by that, I mean allowing Everton to have the ball, but being very quick and clinical, especially in the front four. Jamie Carragher did a great analysis of this on Monday Night Football earlier in the week, obviously, for the game on Monday night. And he was absolutely bang on with his analysis of how we battered United on the break and battered them going forwards, because we had our front four all joining in the attacks. We had, obviously, there's two strikers, Ayew and Zaha, and I will get onto my predicted lineup soon. But we had them, and obviously Schlupp and Townsend on the wings. All four of them would go forward quickly with pace and look to interchange with each other whenever we got the chance to counter-attack. And Maka maybe lingered there or thereabouts, but really McCarthy and Maka kind of held the line, and let the front four just interchange and mix and let them do their thing. And I think that is exactly how we're going to approach this game. And I think it's the best chance we have. In all honesty, we were so good in the counter-attack against United and should have scored more goals. And it is a sign that, we are still, not very good in that area. We are still trying to improve in terms of conversion rate of chances. That being said, our first shot on target did go in against United, which is great. And that got us off to that good start that we needed. I think, again, Roy's the sort of manager who, when things are going well, he very rarely changes. I said this on the stream against United. When we get a good result, when we got that good 1-0 win on the first game of the season against Southampton, and it was a decent performance as well, especially defensively, it was very unlikely he was going to change anything unless he was forced to, and he did with Scott Dan, because Scott Dan had an injury. He was forced to make that change, but it was very rare that it was very unlikely he was going to ever change it drastically. And I think it'll be the same again when things are going well with Palace. Hodgson wants to keep it as much of what's going well. He wants to keep as much of that going. He wants to keep that momentum. He doesn't want to disrupt anything when the team's going well. So I really do think he'll play the same team again. Only slight difference maybe if Dan is fit, maybe he comes back in, but Saka was so good. I can see him holding that spot now until he makes a considerable error or a poor couple of games which warrants him Roy switching him out. I think that is the way it's going to go now. Maybe Batshuayi starts ahead of Ayew, because Ayew was probably the only person who had the poor game against United realistically, but that being said, off the ball he was brilliant, and the way he pressed and created space and opportunities. Missed the penalty and didn't really convert the chances he should have. Had a couple of really good chances, Ayew, against United, and was poor not to put some of them away. But that being said, he was still playing well. So I do think that Roy won't change things. The only one, as I said, I can see is maybe a centre-back switch if things really are drastic. I can't see that happening though. Or maybe Batshuayi coming in for Ayew, because he was the only player who was probably the worst player for us on what was a fantastic evening for everyone. Not saying he was bad by any means. I'm just saying that he was probably the worst out of. He was the least good player, if that makes sense. But I can't see Eze starting. I can see him coming off the bench again and maybe getting game time in an easier fixture than this. And I think, again, counter-attacking, looking to start quickly, try and get an early goal on the board, and then to sit back and frustrate Everton, like we did against United, and then look to pick them off on the counter-attack, which we were doing so well against United last week. I think we'll try and do exactly the same thing. Of course, it's going to be harder because Everton will be quicker in the attacking areas. United made it a lot easier for us to defend because they were so slow going forward. Whenever they got in and around the final third, they were passing, poor pass forward, and we go on the counter-attack. It was far too slow, and when they did try and play a forward pass, we intercepted it and read it. It was all very slow and very easy to read, and we bossed that area of the pitch. With James Rodriguez, he's the key. If we can close him down and stop him and slow him down by getting out to him quickly, Maka and McCarthy again are going to have a massive job on their hands. But by slowing him down in his way of playing and frustrating Rodriguez goes a long way in stopping Everton, I think, in this moment in time, because he's so fundamental to their good start. Yes, they've got fantastic players around him and they've all been brilliant. But I think stopping Rodriguez really slows down Everton's attacking play, and players like Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, who are making runs in behind him, waiting for Rodriguez to play that pass. Again, I think by stopping him, they have to almost come deeper to collect the ball, and that helps us. It slows down their attack, and we saw against Man United how well we play when teams are slow in the build-up. We have got we still got an aging squad. We still got quite an old defence, very old defence actually, when you compare to other teams in the league. And by having a slower attack, that plays into our hands. Slowing down the forward plays and the forward runs. So it's going to be a tight game, going to be a hard game. And again, like I did going into United game, I didn't know what was going to happen at the time, of course, but I would have ripped your arm off for a draw against United. Obviously, we got much more than that, and we thoroughly deserved the win. I don't think it's going to be the same thing here against Everton. I think it's going to be very hard. And again, I'll rip your arm off for a draw in this one. Let's not get carried away. Let's pick and choose the games where we should be looking to get 3 points. This is definitely a game where if you can get a draw, the way Everton are playing, that is a very good result. And I think it's something that keeps the points ticking along and it keeps the momentum going, which is what Roy will definitely be looking for. Score predictions, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go for that draw. As I said, I think it'll be the same team that played against United. Let me know your thoughts down below. Obviously, Everton fans, I'd love to know your thoughts and if you agree with what I predicted and my comments on your team. Very interested to see how Ancelotti lines up against us, and I'm really excited for this one. Tune into the channel. At 2:30, I will be starting my stream for the live stream watch along tomorrow for the game. I will be doing it again. It was so successful last week. Thank you all for your support, and of course please donate down below to my GoFundMe page for my Just Giving page, for the Palace for Life Foundation Marathon March. I will be taking part in that in a few weeks. Fingers crossed. I will be doing the whole marathon march, so please donate down below. It's for a great cause. That's for anyone watching who wants to contribute. It can be as little or as much as you want, but it's going towards fantastic cause for Palace for Life. Do so much for the community in and around South London. Give children so many great opportunities, and yeah, it's just a great cause what they do for the club, and this is something I'm very flattered to be very honoured to be taking a part in, because it means so much for the club and for people in the area. So please donate if you can. That'd be amazing. If not, see you guys tomorrow for the live stream. Thank you guys. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time.